spends his mornings alone, skimming through yesterday's news, hoping to find something to get lost in. Soft-boiled egg, grapefruit, off to work in a black suit, black heart, black tie, 28 floors high. She spends her days waiting, tuning into radio shows, sipping a gin and juice through a cherry lip gloss. She spends her days gazing, looking for someone new to comfort her and comfort her, lost in a daydream. Baby, hold me tight, don't let go of me tonight, I need you. Stars are shining bright, they will carry the darkness into light. Will they carry me too? She's growing her hair long, trying to lose some weight, and the slots and the scotch and the jobs that always seem to melt away. 5 o'clock, but he stays late, trying to articulate this feeling creeping up inside. Never letting go. Baby, hold me tight, don't let go of me tonight, I need you. Stars are shining bright, they will carry the darkness into light. Will they carry me too? Will they carry me too?
We know, we know, we know what we're made of. Can I have your attention, please? We may be small, but we are not weak. We are more than the kids you see, more than the kids you see. Yeah, we know that the world's in pain, and everyone's on a different page. You should hear what we have to say, instead of saying we should act our age. We know, we know, we know what we're made of. No matter if the world tries to change us, it matters what we say, though we are young. We know, we know, we know what we're made of, what we're made of. Yeah, we know that the world's in pain, and everyone's on a different page. We should hear what we have to say, instead of saying we should act our age. We know, we know, we know what we're made of. No matter if the world tries to change us, it matters what we say, though we are young. We know, we know, we know what we're made of, what we're made of.
All right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Metaphysical Meetup with Marc here live on Fridays, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10, 11, 12, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good morning to you, good afternoon, or good evening, as we have people tune in from all around the planet when I come on Friday mornings. And I was just listening to that song. The song is called "A Better Place" by Peter McConnell. And then the song before that was "Carry Us Through" by Ella Joy Mir, I think is how I say it. And I always like to give credit to the songs that I play because these songs are already a sound collection that have been pre-approved by Meta. They're not copyrighted, they're not trademarked, there's no royalties associated with that. And so anytime I play music for my live shows or for my YouTube or my podcast, Inspired Living Radio, they're all, royalty free, so I don't get copyright infringements or get muted or anything like that. And I love to, showcase people's work that maybe you've never heard of. Maybe you've never heard of Peter McConnell and his song "A Better Place," or maybe you've never heard of Ella Joy Muir, who carry us through. So those were the first two songs. So good morning to you. This morning, wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about, to be honest with you. It's been a pretty challenging week and a lot of differences, but what I love about doing these shows is a lot of times it's not scripted, it's not planned, there's no agenda, I don't have any notes. It's really just coming on and connecting with you here to inspire you, to encourage you, to motivate you, to maybe get you to think outside the box, to maybe think about what your journey of life is. Maybe you need some healing, maybe you need some life coach, maybe you need some transformation, maybe you need some abilities to access your own intuition, to work with the psychic sciences, to work with mediumship. I do want to just say, life is so very fragile, and we take things for granted. I had all on the same day, we had a family member make their transition after some long, hard fought months. Same day, a friend of mine had a medical emergency and had to go into a procedure. So it's just a constant reminder. Now I'm always associated with the spirit world, death and dying. It's who I've become over the last few years, and even so much this last year as I've made my transition out of after 23 plus years of working in federal government. I have made my shift. I've made my own transformation into a new chapter of my life, a new, more positive aspect of my life. Even have an upcoming surgery, so I'm actually getting, in a sense, a new body. Right, the caterpillar morphs into the butterfly, and I'm going through that. But it was just a reminder this last week that things can change on a dime, and you never know what the day's going to bring. Right. And so, we had a family member transition over. Now he, may he rest in tranquility. He was in a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, and now he doesn't have that pain and discomfort. But I know that he moved on. I know that love continues on. I know that energy always has to go somewhere. Energy just can't stop to exist because everything is energy, right? And so, just want to give a shout out to that family member, Donnie, who made his transformation over to the other side. He had family around him when he made that transition. I always call that the beautiful pain. The beauty of being a part of the death process, which is a normal process, just like death and taxes are consistent for everybody in this world. But to be there as part of that journey, I've had the beautiful pain myself of being with my grandma and another friend that made their transitions, and I was able to help them, not help them, but be with them. I don't believe that anybody has that ability to have a power to move a soul over, right? That's free will and choice. But to be with them during that portal to open up, to move from, being an incarnate person, being a child of matter, right? This is a matter vibration, and to be with them, to have that portal open and to move to that next journey. And so he was with family. So I don't think anybody should ever transition alone or die alone. And then, just give a shout out to my friend, privacy reasons, I'm glad he's doing good. And he had a stent put in for his heart. And so I was just, we had the prayers going for him, holding space, because we can always pray for others. We can always hold space for others. And so he's doing well and recovering. So I'm happy about that. But it was a reminder, like you never know what the day is going to bring. And if you go over to my YouTube channel, YouTube, I'm fluctuating the change to 11 a.m. To play last week's episode, which is the best part about the future, dot, 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 is it comes one day at a time. That's what I talked about last week. And I would just want to say thank you to the YouTube subscribers. I don't know what happened. I don't know what is in the air or what the vibration or the synchronicities or the coincidences are. But thank you for putting the channel over 10,000 subscribers. It was only just about a month and a half ago or 2 months ago that I had asked to help me get to 500 subscribers. Because when you have more subscribers and followers on your page, you get more. You have the ability to do more things, right? And so I was just trying to get to 500, and now almost 2 months later we're at 10,000. So thank you. That video will be premiering at 11 a.m. now on Fridays. It's this show, but last week's show. And so you can go catch all the previous shows on my YouTube channel. And you can also catch our latest podcast, which we did on Wednesday with an awesome gentleman. He wrote a book called Finding God in Vegas, Reimagining the American Dream. And it was a great story. I don't have the book here because it was sent to me in a digital copy, but you can go check out that podcast and you can get that book if you want to, for the fact it was just inspiring how he went from being a big pharmaceutical executive, which I have had experience with pharmaceuticals with my medicine journey and my injuries, to hydrocodone, oxycodone, things that they were just prescribing like candy. And then 10 years later we realized it was pretty much doctors in white lab coats being drug dealers prescribing medication that killed a lot of people from accidental overdoses, and high addiction rates and mental health. So it was a great story to see, because he left that high executive position and had a spiritual awakening. And I always say spiritual awakenings are not easy. When you hear about a spiritual awakening, careful what you ask for, because it's not unicorns and cupcakes and rainbows and kitty cats. There's a lot of things that you'll have to work through to know thyself, to become transformation, to heal, to move into something you never thought you would fully become, to leave your past behind and embrace your future as the unknown. And so he did that. And so we had a great show. And so if you want to check that out, you can get Inspired Living Radio anywhere you get podcasts, on any platform. I think we're streaming on most podcast platforms now. Just look for Inspired Living, My Ugly Mug, and you can check out 8 seasons of different topics that we've done. And I really enjoy that. We have a couple cool guests coming up in April. Don't want to give that away yet, but we are scheduled. We're fully booked out now going into May. And thank you to the listeners, inspired listeners that listen around the globe, because it's internet radio. It's not your radio station, it's internet radio. So you can listen to the show from anywhere on the planet with any device, smartphone, computer, cell phone, smartphone, what have you. And because of you listeners, you have made Inspired Living a top inspirational podcast to listen and follow, which is the same list that has Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Brene Brown, Steve Harvey, some very inspirational people in the world. So we're very honored and humbled anytime that we make any kind of recognition or list. So good morning to you. Good morning to Corey, Brenda, Char, Rena, Samantha, Joe, Claudia, good afternoon. Hello. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, get your badge going. Good morning to my Patreon Prospector subscribers and my Diamonds Hub Facebook subscribers here. You can get all the information about me and what I do and my writings and my show all right here at marklainhart.com. There's a subscribe. That's where you can get to the YouTube channel. You can get to my Soul Adventures newsletter, which I'll be honest, I've done a really poor job of keeping up with my newsletter because I've just had so much going on the last few months with my day job transferring to retirement, early retirement, which I didn't know that I would be doing, but the spirit world has called me to do more of this. So I've been really working on a lot of paperwork and a lot of, just stuff, legal stuff, and hasn't been fun. And I have a surgery coming up, so I'm getting ready for a big surgery. But I'm excited for what the future holds. I'm excited for where we're going. The spring is here. I always say that the spring is new light, is new energy. In fact, I even pulled a card today, which was fitting. So this person is called Silver Birch, It's a wisdom card that I usually, pull weekly or daily just to see, like your horoscope. Like, for those of you that check out your horoscope, this is a wisdom card, and this is silver birch, and it's in the form of a man, indigenous, Native American, and I have always been attracted to the indigenous cultures, the Native American cultures, because I really believe that is what true spiritualism is. They were really, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. And there's a big difference in, part of nature and living in community and helping others. That's more of the spiritual path, not a lot of dogmas and fears and control and paying money. And the indigenous cultures really had that figured out. And I think we're seeing that in our world. That's why there's so much chaos and dysfunction and divide, because we're starting to see a split in, a difference between religious and spiritual, and politicians and political parties and war. And, we're seeing that because there is a transformational taking place. And the card says this, the card says, be full of hope and courage. Be full of hope and courage. The snows of winter bring despair, but spring comes in all her fresh garb, arrayed in smiling laughter. Even the darkest night gives way to the glory of the dawn, which heralds the rising sun. And so I pulled that this morning because I was thinking about, what do we want to talk about on today's show on Metaphysical Meetup Live with Marc. And I'll take your questions here in a little bit. But check out the books that I recommend. I've got 2 books right now. I love this book. He was on the show a couple weeks ago, The Rocking Chair Prophet. Powerful, powerful book. I read about a book a week now with, because I get a lot of PR pitches for the show. And so I do recommend books a lot of times. Another great read, The Art of Living by Thich Nhat Hanh. I love this guy. I love his teachings. So 2 great books. I'm almost finished with this one. I continue to come back to this one. The Spirit Speaks. This is actually the Silver Birch series. Again, this is the Silver Birch deck cards that goes with it. Fascinating reads. There's just so much knowledge there to read, and I love to read. I wish more of us would read. But this morning I was talking about, I meet with my counselor before the show. We meet every 2 weeks, and he's in the Dominican Republic, so I'm a little jealous. But we always have very insightful conversations, and I usually don't know what I'm going to talk about until I, either I'm in a meditation, get my butt on the mat and get into a meditation and listen to the silence, listen to the higher self, listen to the spirit world, if you will. If you believe that, and if you don't, that's fine too. You can still join this community. Like I've always said, that I am a buffet. I am a smorgasbord of information. And, you go up to a buffet, you don't get mad at the buffet because there's broccoli and cauliflower and collard greens, right? You just pick and choose what you want to listen to. It's the same thing with a buffet. You pick and choose what you want to eat and put on your tray, and what you don't want to. But we can always still come from a place of compassion, kindness. We can come from a place of civility. So I try to make all of my platforms of social media platforms for positivity. So if you come into the community, just know that I have a team of moderators that does monitor the comments. And thank you to my team. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for helping me out in a collective team environment to create a positive culture and a positive community. They do track your comments. So if you come in like a spam call and say that you have, more accurate readings, or come visit my page, don't do that. Alexa's going off, but she's turning yellow. I must have a delivery. But don't do that, because not only do you not get exited from the community page, you get banned from the page, because we don't put up with that anymore in social media. So we try to create platforms for positivity. So keep your comments kind, compassionate, have some civility, have perspective. A few weeks ago, I talked about the ability of spiritual strength is the ability to shift your perspective. And I'm not, Plato always talked about those that claim to know everything know nothing at all. I don't know anything. I'm just sharing my soul adventures, my life experiences, my education, the things that I've journeyed into, the things I've experienced and witnessed, and have transformed and worked with the alchemy of who I am, the ascension of who I am, the healing of who I am. And so I offer those in hopes that I can maybe encourage you or motivate you to go prospecting for the diamond that's within you, but the diamonds that are all around us. There's so many gems and diamonds all around our world, and I hope that you'll journey with me. And you can always journey with me here at marclainhart.com, or subscribe to my Patreon prospectors or my Diamonds Hub subscribers, or be a star sender here, and I will connect with you. So good morning. Got a few more people joining us this morning. Good morning to Wendy. How are you? Yes, Claudia, Silver Birch is amazing. Amazing teachings and studies. Elena, good morning to you. Wendy, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yay. Majori, hello to you. Michelle, good morning to you. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. So this morning, I wanted to share a story, and I want to read something. I'm going to be doing a service on Sunday. For those of you that follow my journey, you know that I may be a minister. You may know that I'm a demonstrating medium. So I actually connect to those. Mediumship means connecting to your loved ones on the other side, your family, your friends, or your fur babies, right? But just always knowing that I work for them. They don't work for me. That's coming from a place of ego. And I'm doing a Sunday service on Easter all the way over on the Isle of Wight, which is Isle of Wight. I always say right. It's Isle of Wight, which is just below London. There's an island just south of London, Portsmouth, if you know the UK area. And they've invited me to be the minister and the mediumship demonstrator for Sunday, which is Easter. So happy Good Friday to you for those that follow that journey. Easter's an interesting, whether you're a Christian or not Christian, there's many historical aspects to Easter. And one of those is that the light always comes after the death, that the light, it's also based on lunar cycles. If you follow the pagan aspects of Easter, of course, it is also, Easter is known in the majority of the world from a Catholicism or Christian standpoint, the rise of Jesus, 3 days after today, Good Friday, the resurrection. But from a spiritual standpoint, it's all about the light comes after the dark, kind of like the spring. There's definitely more than religious doctrine to Eastern. The one thing I can't figure out, though, and maybe somebody can educate me on, why is it now? I know from history past that eggs weren't always as relevant as they are today, right? To give an egg back then, 3,000 years ago, was very a kind gesture. So I know that the eggs themselves were based on giving something worth of value and protein and health, and it meant something, right? Now today we think of eggs as nothing, but I can't figure out where it ties to the Easter bunny. I don't know why the eggs become chocolate colored, and then how they tie to the bunny, because how does a bunny and egg, where's the relationship, right? I know that it's a very capitalistic style, kind of like Valentine's Day, right? There's a lot of stuff sold from a capitalistic standpoint in the world, but I've always tried to track, like, where's the connection to the egg, not the Fabergé eggs that back in the past, but eggs today that are colored, and maybe that's to represent what the Fabergé eggs meant back then, but made of actual material like gold and silver, and decorate the eggs. But where do they tie into the bunny? I haven't put that together, and I'm a student of history. I'm a student of life. I always like to learn new things. So if you have any insights to that, I'm all bunny ears, if you will. But what I wanted to do, hi Joselita, hi Rena, I just subscribed to. Awesome, thank you, my friend. Hi, happy Friday, Majori. Good morning. Hello. Keep your comments so I can see you. Get your badge when you interact with the show, or you become a subscriber or star sender. You'll get a badge. So you want to make sure to activate that badge, because that's what I see your name coming in. I'm looking for badges. I'm looking because that's who I'm going to work with first when I start to take your questions and open up for Q&A and open up the Zoom room if you want to come in. But I start with my Patreon prospectors, my Diamond Hub subscribers, my star senders, and then anybody that has a badge. And then if you don't have any of those four, then I may not get to you. So sorry. But I really try to, give people that follow my work first opportunities. So just a reminder, this is the last week of March. Next week, I will be doing the first Friday of every month. If you are a Diamonds Hub subscriber, you'll have that information on the Diamonds Hub page. If you are a Patreon prospector, you'll have that information on the Patreon page. So Patreon and Diamonds Hub, there's accesses for the first Friday of every month where you can come in. It won't be on a public display like this. It'll actually be in the Zoom room, but you can come in at 11:30 the first Friday of every month. And then also, if you can't make the 11:30, you can come in at 3:30 and have Q&A with me. We can do a meditation, we can do a healing. You could ask me questions. We could do psychic. We could do mediumship. What's going on with my career? What's going on with the relationship? I want to talk to my fur baby. And I always just put the caveat, I can't always guarantee who's going to come through, and I may not always be able to connect, but it's an intention, and I set an intention on the first Friday of every single month for my subscribers. The spirit world sees that as well. The intelligence of the spirit world sees that. So just know that next Friday, which will be April 5th, right? Looking at my calendar here, April 5th, my subscribers, you have 2 points of access in the morning at 11:30, and then again at 3 or 3:30. You have to check the page if you're a subscriber, Patreon or Diamonds Hub. So just another reason to become a subscriber. The Diamonds Hub is only $4.99 a month, y'all. So that's pretty cheap. If you want to have a booking with me, you're saving money. Just put it that way, because my bookings for 30 minutes and 60 minutes and 90 minutes can be a lot more expensive. But I do offer those as well, and that's here at marklainhart.com if you want to journey there. So hi Susan, good to see you, my friend. Raina says, crappy start to the new year, praying for a better spring and onwards. Yeah, like I said, be full of hope and courage. That's the card I just pulled. The spring brings forth new energy. Like I said, Easter, depending on your viewpoint, is all about the light coming after the dark, the resurrection after the death. That is, based on the Easter concept. And I'll be doing a service this Sunday, and I'll be talking about that. I'm going to read a poem here in just a second to give you perspective, to give you, the difference of transformation and ascension and the change in your alchemy. Like I said, after 23 plus years of working for the federal government, I have now transferred out of that. Not necessarily my decision, but the spirit world works to help you. So, for Raina AR, just, move into trust, move into patience, move into discipline and dedication, and know that you're never alone on your journey, that your loved ones, your friends, your family, and your fur babies are only ever a thought away. That's something I came to the realization years ago after the loss of both my brothers in the same week to murder, to brain cancer, and my father-in-law at the same time to multiple sclerosis. So that part changed me. In fact, I've written about it in my first published book. This is my first published book here. It's called Between Worlds. You may want to check it out. You can get it over on Amazon or marklainhart.com. It's part of a community I'm a part of where I've been tested several times called Best American Psychics. So if you've read my background, my work, you know that I've been tested and validated several times internationally, not just here in the United States, but also overseas in the UK. But it talks about reflections of being between worlds, right? So there's the two aspects of the two worlds, and it's kind of like the tree of life here, as above, so below. But I talk about that you're never alone and that your loved ones are only ever a thought away, from an energy standpoint, from a metaphysical standpoint. And sometimes, when you're going through this stuff that we all are, life is throwing a lot of changes and just unbelievable concepts. And, it really just, if anything, Raina, just come back to, if you know the Serenity Prayer, or I do the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi, and I'm going to read a poem that's going to maybe help give you some perspective here in a second. This poem I'm going to also be reading at the Sunday service when I do, as I'll be doing the service for the Isle of Wight, which is just south of the UK. And let me pull up that poem real quick. But, just the Serenity Prayer is always important, the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi, or just whatever prayer. Prayer is thought going out, but I would challenge you, Raina, do you listen back through meditation? Prayer is thought going out, but a lot of times moving into a meditative state, sitting in silence, sitting in the power, sitting in stillness, you can receive more information. So again, prayer's out, meditative state is listening back. And it can really be, honestly, it can be quite transformative to know thyself, to know that there is so much that we don't see. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean that it's not there. Great series on Netflix. If y'all want to check it out, I highly recommend it. It's kind of a mind-blowing concept. It's called Three Body Problem. I just binge watched it. I'll probably watch it again, but it's along the lines of duality. It's along the lines of multiverse, dimensional theory. It's also along the lines, if you like The Matrix. I've always said when I first saw The Matrix as a movie, I now consider it more of a documentary. Even Keanu Reeves has said that Matrix wasn't a movie; it was a documentary, because you got to realize that you're so much more than what you see of yourself. You're a physical being, you're an emotional being, you're a mental being, you're a material being, but you're also a spiritual being. And if you realize that you're energy spiritual first that incarnated as a child of matter to come into this physical form to live the school of life with all of its ups and downs, goods and bads. um, you realize that there's a much bigger picture going on, but not everybody's there, right? Not everybody is unplugged from the matrix. Some of you are. Some of you have had your own spiritual awakening. Some of you are still just plowing that field and staying in your lane, and that's okay, right? Because that's what free will and choice is all about. But this poem I'm going to read, this is the same poem I'm going to read on Sunday, and then I'll do some demonstrations of mediumship for whoever's in the audience via Zoom. It's online. Last time I did a service, there was over 50 people. So I have no doubt that the spirit world will show up and give what is needed, not as what is wanted. That's another thing of the spiritual journey. It's not what we want, it's what we need. Claudia says, also think about the bunny being very fertile. So it really links to growth, having everything in abundance. Okay. The egg stands for fertility. The bunny comes from Wicca nature religion. The bunny, aka hare, stands for the transformation in the year from the winter into the spring. Yeah, I was wondering, Claudia, if that was part of the case, because a lot of the Easter is, many people know it to be with Jesus and Good Friday and the resurrection, but other religious cultures don't celebrate that, right? I always say, research the top 10 religions in the world, and you'll see there's a lot of similarities, a lot of truths. The only consistent thing is love, right? But we do this in my development group. We actually look at different religions to gain perspective. But it is tied to Wiccan. It is tied to the pagan, based on the lunar cycles, talking about the spring, talking about the light after the darkness, the winter session. So thank you for that input, Claudia. I appreciate that. And if anybody else has any perspective, I'm all ears. I'm all bunny ears. So we were just talking about, chocolate eggs and Easter bunnies, and where it's kind of like Santa Claus and Christmas, right? It's the whole concept of to sell stuff, right? So good morning, Wendy. How are you? I love the sunshine. Happy Friday to you. So again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You can learn more about anything that I'm doing now at marklainhart.com. And I promise I'll be doing more. I'll be writing more. I'll get on my newsletter more. I've moved into an early retirement, unbeknownst to me 10 months ago, but this is where we're at. So I guess happy retirement to me, and new chapters ahead. And I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to get this surgery so I can stop being in pain. That's probably, I should have had this surgery probably 5 years ago from what the surgeon told me. So I want to read you this poem. So everybody take a nice deep breath. And I guess today's message, I was really thinking about, it's not about, it's not from here. It's not what you take, what you have. You only take what you gave. And I had something else I was thinking about, and I'll give that story after. But I'm going to share this poem on Sunday, and I thought I'd share it here with you today to give you perspective and to think about, Easter, and to think about your loved ones. Maybe you've had a loved one, a family member, a friend, or a fur baby transfer over through the portal of death, but knowing that that's not the end. And I don't know who wrote this poem because it says it's unknown, but allow yourself to move into openness to receive. And it says this: when you die, don't worry about your body. Your relatives will do whatever is necessary according to their possibilities. They will take your clothes off. They will wash you, dress you, take you out of your house, and take you to your new address. Many will come to your funeral to say, quote, goodbye. Some will cancel commitments and even miss work to go to your funeral. Your belongings, even what you didn't like to lend, will be sold, given away, or burned. Your keys, your tools, your books, your shoes, your clothes. And rest assured that the world will not stop to cry for you. The economy will continue. In your job, you will be replaced. Someone with the same or better capabilities will take your place. I have no doubt somebody's taken my place in what I used to do for the last 14 years. And I'm sure that my job's already been posted. So that's the reality of it. But in this poem, your assets will go to your heirs. And do not doubt that you will continue to be cited, judged, questioned, and criticized for the small and great things you did in this life. People who know you only by your appearance will say, poor man or woman, he or she had a great time. May they rest in peace. Your sincere friends will cry for a few hours or a few days, but then eventually they will return to life and return to laughter. The quote, friends who pulled you to partying will forget about you faster. Your animals will get used to a new owner, a new environment. Your photos will hang on the wall or remain on a piece of furniture for a while, but then perhaps they will be stored at the bottom of a drawer or put into a box. And we will only live in the memory of those who knew us and those who loved us. Someone else will sit on your couch and eat at your table. The deep pain in your house will last a week, 2, a month, 2, a year, 2. Then you'll be added to the memories, and then your story is over. It ended up among people, and it ended up here, and it ended up in this world. But begin your story in a new reality, in your life after death. Your life where you couldn't move with the things from here because when you left, they lost the value that they had. Your body, your beauty, your appearance, your last name, your comfort, your credit, the state you lived in, the position you held, your bank accounts, your home, your car, your profession or job title, your titles overall, any diplomas that you may have had, your medals that you received, the trophies you won, the friends you knew, the friends you had, the places you visited, the spouse or spouses you had, and of course, your family and friends. In your new life, you will only need your spirit. And the value you have accumulated here will be the fortune you'll have over there. That fortune is the only one you will take with you, and it's amassed during the time you are here. When you have a life of love for others and peace with your neighbors, you are amassing what we call your spiritual fortune. That's why to truly live fully and be happy while you're here, because, quote, from here, you won't take what you have, you'll only take what you gave, end quote. So that's a poem I wanted to share with you this morning. Again, the author is unknown. I love to pay credit where credit's due, but I don't know the name. If there is a name to this poem, I didn't see it. It came up as unknown. It just reminds me of somebody that probably just wrote this, reflecting on their life. Maybe they were faced with terminal illness, or maybe they had gone through severe trauma and grief of losing a family member. I know that I can resonate with that poem very much from my journey and my changes in life, and the loss of my brothers and my father-in-law, and upcoming surgery. You just never know what the day is going to bring. So it's a reminder to carpe diem, to seize the day. And again, when people ask me, Mark, what's my future hold? The best thing about your future, Abraham Lincoln said this, it comes one day at a time, and that's today. That's the present moment. So good morning to Lynn. Good morning to Rune. Good morning. Claudia says you're welcome. A lot of pagan and Wicca in my last development circle. Yes. So thank you for that perspective. Wendy is crying. My mom passed last week. So again, Wendy, we're holding space for you. If you guys want to throw some hearts and likes and just hold space for Wendy, whose mom passed. And I love that you use the word past, because when we use the word dead, they're dead. To me, that energy, those words indicate an ending, and it stops. Passing, transformation, ascension is words that are much different. Just say those words. Past, transformation, ascension have gone on ahead of me. When you use those words, not only it triggers your mindset, it literally, like you can see the hair standing up on my arm. It's that energy of knowing that death is not the end. Death is just a next journey. And a lot of us are afraid of death. I think we're more afraid. I'm not afraid of death. I'm more concerned of how I'm going to go, right? I don't want to be buried alive. I want to go quick. I want to die in my sleep. I think that the ego, the human child of matter, wants to know the ending, right? Because that's our minds. We want to know why. Even as a 2-year-old child of matter to a 52-year-old man of matter, we want to know the whys. Like, how am I going to pass? But we know through testing, through science, through writings, through historical moments, that death is not the end, that the light comes after the darkness, just like it will on Easter, just like it does on Good Friday. I really wish I could have a time machine and go back to see the events, to see how accurate they are. Because remember, we didn't always have written documentation. We were cultures passed history through verbal, the ability to speak, which is a vibration off a vocal cord. And so they could actually pass history down, and you had to be very accurate in your storytelling to the next generation, who then took it from there to there to there. But our writings didn't start throughout history. So it'd be interesting to jump in a time machine and go back and observe to see how accurate, how things become how they are today based on what they did back then, right? So that's today's message. I was going to talk about something else. Maybe I'll talk about it next week, because I had a really wonderful experience based on baseball. It is opening. Yesterday was opening season for you baseball fans. I had an event, something that'll never happen in my life ever again, that happened when I was down at the spring training for the Mariners. I'll maybe talk about that next week if you want to tune in next week, because it was awesome. It was, you can't make this shit up. It'll never happen again. And it was just like, wow. So, just celebrate today, celebrate the new light, celebrate the journey, celebrate that life comes after death. That's what it's all about, resurrection. It's all about new beginnings. I'm moving literally into that with a new beginning, a new life chapter for me. As one door closes, I have no doubt and trust and patience and dedication and discipline that a new door has indeed opened. Like I said, I don't know what happened with my YouTube channel, but the universe opened up that door. We went from 500 subscribers to 10,000. I don't know if people are now just starting to resonate with my messages and my writings and my book. And I don't know, but my podcast, but I'm thankful and I'm grateful for that. So hang in there, Wendy. Ask your mom. And this is a cool thing, not just for Wendy, but anybody watching. If you want to do this, because again, we want to challenge status quo, right? We want to challenge ego mind. And what I do is I always ask people, if you want a message from your loved one, whether it's through a medium or through nature or through the material world, all you have to do is this simple process. This is something that, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Maybe it's time to start talking spirit. This is something through my development, through my great mentors, and I've been mentored by some of the best in the world when it comes to spiritualism, psychic, and mediumship. This process came to me when I really tried to break it down in layman's terms, like, how can I talk to my brothers? How can I talk to my father-in-law? How can I talk to my father? How can I talk to my past fur babies? And it really is a simple process. It starts with intention. And when we set intention, there's the energy, the same energy that's in your heart and in your mind that's generated in your auric field. That energy follows intention. And then what you do is you ask, vibration. You got to have a little bit of belief, because if there's no belief, then it's really, what's the point? And then you take a divine breath, right? Divine breath, very important for this work, for healing, for transformation, for connection. So ask, believe, deep breath in, receive, then you're going to perceive what you receive. Now you can receive information from, because how do you talk to somebody that no longer has a voice? They don't have a physical matter voice or a vibration. So my mindset was logically, rationally, am I hearing voices? Am I schizophrenic? Or is there something truly real about communications with something that's bigger than ourselves? And again, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not here. The microscope has told us that. The telescope has told us that. The James Webb telescope has told us that. And you can do this as a piece of equipment to receive and perceive. Now, what'll happen is it may not happen real time, but if you take the time to disconnect and you make time to reconnect, great things and amazing things and healing things can really happen in your journey. So Wendy, for you, I know you're in a pain body right now, that you're grieving, your heart is broken, your mom has passed on, but she's very much alive, and she's actually closer to you now than she ever was in the physical matter world. So what you do is you're going to ask her, Mom, give me a sign. Einstein always talked about coincidences and synchronicities are God's way, whatever God is, or whoever God is to you. That's part of that smorgasbord, that buffet. I don't try to tell people who God is. I know that there is a higher consciousness and a higher love and a higher welcoming, but I can't say that that's an old white bronze dude with a beard sitting in a big golden chair like I was taught in Catholicism. Don't subscribe to that. But there is whatever God is for you. And even if you're a full believer, an agnostic always wanting proof, or an atheist of non-believing, challenge the spirit world. Ask them to give you a sign, a symbol, because signs and symbols are God's way of remaining anonymous. And Einstein talked about that in the early 40s. So ask, believe. The breath also allows that intention now to move to something bigger in your vibration, in your auric field. That's what the breath indicates. It's kind of like filling up your car or plugging in your phone. You have to, why do we go to sleep at night? Why do we go to sleep? That's another question I've asked. Because we're machines. We have to shut down. We have to rejuvenate. We have to replug. And if we're machines by nature, based on blood flow, based on heartbeat, based on oxygen, based on physical matter, then that means that if we're machines, we must be tied into something bigger, right? That's otherwise we wouldn't need to sleep. We wouldn't need to rest our brain, to rest our energy field. But every night, I love sleep. I have amazing dreams and connections. So you may have something, Wendy, in the spiritual world with your mom through a dream. So make sure to dream journal. But ask your mom to send you something. It may not happen right away. We as humans want it real time, but there is no time in the spiritual concept. It's past, present, future happening all together. Watch Three Body Problem on Netflix. You'll see what I'm talking about. Time is only an illusion that is created by the construct of man. Man created time, right? Time is an illusion. It's not linear. So ask your mom, who has now made her transformation out of the incarnate physical matter body into spiritual love, consciousness, and memory of who she is, and ask her to give you something. Sign, symbol, synergy, synchronicity. The synergy is the energy of who you are and her energy that's still very much alive. Because everything is in life is energy, if you think about it. And so the synergy is the energy in you and her energy that blends. Kind of what I'll do on Sunday for the service is to blend with that energy to see if they can give me information through my clairvoyance, through my clairsentience, through my clairaudience, through my clairfactory, through my claircustodes, through my claircognizance. These are the different clairs of the body that are in conjunction with your five senses: see it, taste it, touch it, hear it, smell it, right? So you're using your spiritual abilities now to tune into something that is all around us, world between worlds, right? Just like I write about in my book. So take the time to disconnect so you can make the time to reconnect. And Rumi always reminds us, what you're seeking is seeking you. There is a correlation. Einstein talked about this. They proved it in science. I can't remember the actual concept. Somebody can think of it. Spooky energy from a distance, I think is what he called it, where one atom is impacted here, and you could go clear across the universe, and simultaneously that same atom is triggered by this atom. Three Body Problem on Netflix talks about this. It's very fascinating. I think that's where we're going in our roaring 20s. So hang in there, Wendy, but just ask your mom to send you a sign, a symbol, that synergy or the synchronistic event. Let me get over to the Facebook page so I can put in. I'm going to open up the Zoom room real quick. I need to get the invite here. Let's see, invite, copy, invite. There we go. Let me go to Facebook. And again, thank you to my team for moderating the comments. We've got about 10 minutes here. I'm going to go to 11. And then make sure to check out last week's episode over on my YouTube channel. Again, thank you to the 10,000 subscribers. I'm really honored and humbled. Talking about the best part about the future is ... You'll have to check that out. And then next week, I'll talk about my experience with the Mariners spring training that will never happen again in my life. And I don't have the prop with me. Let's say there's a prop that I'll bring with me next week if I can remember. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Q&A. So if you have a question, again, I'm looking for Patreon prospectors, Diamonds Hub subscribers, and star senders first. And then if you have a badge next year, an anniversary follower or contributor, I'm looking for that. So the best way to get your badges is by sharing, liking, subscribing, commenting. That's the best way to interact, and that's how you also generate your fan badge or follower badge. I have nothing to do with that. That's all based on social media. So let me get over to the Intuitive Prospector page. Let's see where we at. You can also go over to my Soul Adventures page, which is our group community page and sister page to Spiritual Beings Having Human Experiences, and my Inspired Living Radio sister pages. I put up there Friday favorites. Maybe you had something during the week that you're grateful for. You can put it on that page, and it's a great way to set the intention of energy that I'm talking about. What you're grateful for, what you had this week. It can be good or bad, but it's about gratitude and what is your favorite thing that happened through the week. So that's posted over on my Soul Adventures page. I'm only saying that because I just saw it pop up as I'm going over the Intuitive Prospector page. So let's get over to the Intuitive Prospector page. And I'll put that link here to open up the Zoom room. So go ahead and ask your questions. And I'll do my best. I can't guarantee, what will happen, but I'm always open to do that. And that's why I set the intent to be here Fridays, to be in service, to, help other people out, whether it's to read a poem to trigger the grief, to honor your grief, to move through your grief. And I even said that today in my counseling. I had to write it down. What did it say? You gotta go to it, face to it, work through it in order to evolve to it. So if you have a question, go ahead and ask your question. If I didn't see your question, sometimes the comments that are streaming live, I won't see them. So if I miss something, put star bump and then your question again. I'll be happy to answer that. So let's see, where's the comment section? I'll put the Zoom room link in. If you do come in on the Zoom room in the next 10 minutes, maybe paste. There we go. Look for my avatar. I'll put an avatar that's let's do a heart. How about that? I'm hugging a heart. So look for the avatar of me hugging a heart, and that Zoom link is right there. The passcode is always based on the year 2024. If my team of administrators want to grab that, anybody that needs it. If you do come in, please go turn the volume down on if you're listening to the show, or put on a headset so we don't get reverberation. So I'll keep the Zoom room open for the next 5 to 10 minutes in any Q&A that you may have. And if you don't, then no worries. I will get ready for the rest of my day. I have a couple meetings. I'm going to Tim McGraw tonight. Going to see Tim McGraw. Hopefully can sit. I'm on a lot of Tylenol right now. I can't take any narcotics until my surgery because I'm trying to lose weight, not gain weight, in time for my major back surgery. But hopefully I can sit, and if not, I'll go up and stand. But still, just enjoy the energy and the community of Tim McGraw's music. And I don't know if Faith Hill will be there. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But one of the songs that I love, I can't play it here because it's copyrighted. But "To Live Like You're Dying." That song has always been relevant in my journey. If you don't know the song, it's Tim McGraw, "To Live Like You're Dying." It was a story about his father and appreciating the time he had left. He wrote a bull named Fu Manchu for 8 seconds, and it's just a beautiful song. So I'm looking forward to that tonight, and then Sunday service for Easter for the Isle of Wight, just south of the UK, London there, and connecting there. And then I'll see you next Friday for another Metaphysical Meetup with Marc. No podcast this next Wednesday. We're off, but we will be back on the 10th of April and the 24th of April. And then we're doing a recorded session on the 26th with a pretty cool guest. I'm actually looking forward. I've studied under this gentleman several times. I've attended his workshops. I've got his CDs. He's agreed to be on Inspired Living, and we'll do a recorded show that will premiere in May. So I'm looking forward to that. But happy spring to you. The month of April is my favorite month. It's the diamond month, right? I got a diamond in my tree of life. You guys can't see this, it's off camera, but here's my tree of life with a diamond in it, because what is my birth? It's funny that before I became the Intuitive Prospector years ago and made that my company name, my birthstone in April is diamond. But so the correlation, the synchronicities, the coincidences, I don't know, maybe this is what I was meant to do after all these years. But April is right around the corner. Spring has sprung. Spring baseball is here. It's lighter out. So get out in nature. Nature's your greatest teacher, your greatest healer, your greatest motivator. Believe, receive. So just seeing some of your, yeah. What was the last piece? So ask, believe, divine breath, receive, however you're going to receive it, because you're going to receive it different than I am, and then you're going to perceive it based on your soul adventures, your education, your religious beliefs. You're going to perceive it differently than I am, but you're receiving it nonetheless. And then that is your connection, that is your communication to something bigger than yourself. Whether you're religious or spiritual or agnostic or atheist, give it a try. Like I said, I've gone from full believer to agnostic to sometimes atheist, back to believer, back to agnostic. It's such a journey. It's such a mindful journey of life and death, and our experiences from life, which for me is the acronym of life is learn it from experience. And, I've had a lot of, these last 10 months have been quite a learning experience, quite a transformation. Um, but everything happens for a reason in the season, and we're in the spring. So have a great evening at the concert. Thank you. Hi, Rosa. Uh, thank you for the kind words. Okay. So I'm not seeing any questions coming through. You can ask a question. I can pull a card for you. Hi, Suzanne. But if I don't see anything come through, then that tells me that we're good to go, and I'll get on with the rest of my Friday. So at 11 over on my YouTube channel, that's premiering. If you want to check that out. Excuse me, got the hiccups now. All right. Any other questions? Last call. Last call. Thank you to my team for contributing, keeping the community positive, keeping the comments kind and compassionate and caring. That's important for social media. And mark my words, y'all, if you follow my journey, you follow my podcast, you follow my newsletter, you follow my shows, everything I've talked about in our roaring 20s that's happening back in 2018, 2019, Renaissance follows global pandemics. History's taught us that. We are in for some very trying, transformative times ahead. It's not going to get easier, but it's about how you observe it, not how you absorb it. Your greatest reaction or your greatest power is how you react to things in your world, your material world and your spiritual world. And there's some pretty cool things that are coming up, but there's also some pretty traumatic things that are going to happen, because that's part of transformation. The world has always been a violent place. It's just more chaotic because we have social media, we have news cycles, we have alerts, we have smartphones. But I believe, mark my words, that AI is going to clean up a lot of, we're working as a species through technology we've never experienced before. And we're either going to evolve through it or we're going to implode to it, right? So AI, people are scared about that, but they said the same thing about the internet. Remember, I grew up pre-internet, internet, and there'll be a post-internet, and social media will help with that transformation. But we try to keep our social media pages positive, encouraging, motivating, inspiring, healing, transformative. So if you're into that and you subscribe to that, then join us on Fridays. Join Soul Adventures. Join Spiritual Beings Having a Human Experience. Create vibration and positivity that our world so much needs. If you're not into that, that's okay. That's free will and choice, but don't be a part of the community here, is all we're saying. So I hope to work with you in the future. Again, you can visit me at marklainhart.com. You can also internet search now. Before internet, it was called the Yellow Pages, literally. Some of you may remember getting the Yellow Pages delivered to your front door every year. You get this big book like this thick of Yellow Pages. This is the Yellow Pages called the internet. And I'm fascinated to see what our next 20 years of technology is going to either progress and evolve or digress and devolve based on us as humans and how we interact with one another. And I think that's important. I'm going to choose to be on the positive, inspirational side of that and promote kindness and caring and compassion and holding space for others and prayer. That's what I've been called to do, to be in service, especially now that I'm retiring, early medical retirement, because that's what the spirit world wants me to do. And I can speak to it because I have personal experiences from it. So, all right. So any job, so Raina saying it's been months since I have not received an offer of work. Okay. So any job opportunities coming my way in April. So Raina, what I want you to do, for that question, I'm not going to answer it because I really want you to focus on you. Remember, I said intentions. I really want you, your focus determines reality. Your energy, your focus. I'm not sure what your working capacities are, your capabilities, your skill sets. But if you start to set intention of what you want, you really start to focus, positive mantras, prayer, meditation, application. You've got to take activity, right? It's not like Amazon. It's just not gonna. You can't just get on the computer and order, and your job's gonna arrive. You're gonna have to put in some work for this. April doesn't feel good to me, to be honest with you, for work. I'm moving more into the summer months, not so much April. But if you can spend the next 30 days of creating a habit, a dedication, and a discipline, along with trust and patience, and start to focus on what you want, your focus will determine your reality. Your intentions will start to be created, and energy will follow that for whatever job you want. And if you don't want the job, like for me, I probably won't work for another person. I'm going to be more of a spiritual entrepreneur now, and write my books, continue with my podcast, continue doing my readings, continue doing my teaching in the medical field, because I don't want to work for another person. I've worked for the man for 23 years, and I just don't want to do that anymore, right? So create your own path, create your own business is another option, and don't have that fear of failure. Fear in itself if you take that sentence, fear of failure, fear is false evidence appearing real. Change it to face everything and rise, that word fear. And then the word fail is such a negative concept in today's society. Use it as first attempt in learning. I had this conversation with the Major League Hall of Fame baseball player last week at Mariners spring training. We talked about this, and it was actually quite illuminating and inspiring. And he loved it. He was like, I haven't heard that before, but I love it. So fail every day, fail often, fail daily, because it's a first attempt in learning, and your focus determines your reality. So change that fear from false evidence appearing real to face everything and rise. And before you know it, things start unlocking, doors start opening, and the doors that didn't serve your higher path start to close. And that includes relationships and people as well. So be mindful of that. So not April, I'm more into the summer months, but you need to set this window of 30 days to create this new mantra, this new habit: patience, trust, dedication, discipline. Sound good? And welcome back. I'm glad that you caught back up with us after all these months. And that's what people do. They come in and out, and that's fine. So Wendy, can you pick a card for me? Any deck, please? You bet. Let's go for you. Let's go to the Wisdom of Words deck. I'm just going to pick deep in the deck here. And I'm also going to pick a passage from The Art of Living for you. So calendar, dates is what's coming up. The Wisdom of Words. It's a 39. So the 3 is creative energy and 9 is completion. But it says this, the now. This card represents the now. And I personally believe in the now. It's from Anon. What is tomorrow? Question mark. Just another day like today? Exclamation mark. Why waste time worrying about tomorrow? Why waste time worrying about what tomorrow may bring when focus should be on what is the most you can give today? And what precious gifts, opportunities, and blessings it might have to offer to you. Focus on the now, and in the time it takes to say the word now, it's gone forever. Think about that. Now. We say words all the time, right? But we don't think about how they're presently said, and then they're gone. They're in the past. Now. That's in the past, right? So this would go for Raina too on your job. Be in the now, because you create the future you want for tomorrow with the seeds you plant today. And then it just says this: as in the time it takes to say the word now is gone forever, live in the now. It is God's precious present to each of us. Live in the moment, instinct, focus, the now, choice is time. You saw me grab the card from the middle of the deck, and it's just the coincidence, the energy, the synchronicities of exactly what I was talking about, the power of now, and to focus, and again, whatever God is or whoever God is to you. But it is that old saying, yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is the gift. That is why we refer to it as the present moment. And then in the book for all of you, let's see if there's any other questions coming in. Full-time work is, just set your intentions, Raina. I'm just going to pick a page here, and we'll go, don't wait for nirvana. So this is from the book, The Art of Living by Thich Nhat Hanh. It says here, don't wait for nirvana. When the Buddha attained enlightenment at the foot of the Bodhi tree, he was a human being. And after his enlightenment, he was still a human being. With all the suffering and afflictions that having a human being entails, the Buddha was not made of stone. He experienced feelings and emotions, pain, cold, hunger, and fatigue, just like all of us. We shouldn't think that because we experience the suffering and afflictions of being human, we cannot touch peace, we cannot touch nirvana. Even after his enlightenment, the Buddha experienced suffering. Think about that, even after the enlightenment. So for those of us that, I always say there's a pathway to enlightenment. Education, experiences leads us to education. Education leads us to knowledge. Knowledge helps us to seek wisdom and guidance and wisdom helps us to seek enlightenment. But even after that pathway of enlightenment, there is still suffering. Think about that. That's pretty powerful. The Buddha experienced suffering. From his teachings and stories about his life, he knew that he suffered. But the key point is that he knew how to suffer. His awakening came from suffering. He knew how to make good use of his afflictions in order to experience the awakening. And because of this, he suffered much less than most of us. Again, I just picked a random chapter out of The Art of Living. That rings true for me because, again, he knew he had to suffer. His awakening came from suffering. I would say that what I do today, my awakening has come from severe suffering, from loss to grief to tragedy to trauma to heartbreak to even full, pain, transformation and surgery to, move from the caterpillar to the butterfly through that pain body, through that suffering. So great reminder to all of us, celebrate the present moment. The best part about the future is it comes one day at a time. I don't see any more questions coming in. So, and I don't see anybody coming into the Zoom room. So I guess we will call that a day. Last call. Any other questions before I end? All right. Like I said, no podcast this Wednesday. We'll be back next Friday. If you want to book a reading, do it in the next 2 weeks because I'm going to be closing down my site for my surgery for about a month. Recovery is 2 to 4 months, but I'll probably be back up before then. So if you want to work with me before my birthday, April 17th is my surgery. So I'm only going to have my online is only going to be available. My calendar is only going to be available for the first 2 weeks of April, and then we're closed down until probably May or June. So I'm going to be in recovery and rehab. So I'll try to do my best to do the shows and the podcast the best I can with the energy and strength that I can muster. But I would ask, if you do follow my journey, I would ask for prayers. If there's any prayer circles or any prayer healing circles that you participate, if you could throw my name in for April 17th, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm having major back surgery. They're using technology. They're going to use a robot. So I'm interested. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I'm curious because the surgery is in my low back. They're going to replace a lot of my low back with fusion and metal discs, like something you would see in Terminator, but they're going to use a robot doing it. So it's kind of interesting to see how this is all going to come together. So there's going to be a different me here in the next month. But I appreciate you tuning in, hanging out with me. You're very welcome, Rena. You're very welcome, Wendy. And I hope that you all have a great rest of your Friday and this weekend. And again, Wendy, honor your grief, honor your mother by talking to her, asking like we talked about. And I'll see you guys next Friday for another Metaphysical Meetup with Marc. Let me pick a cool song to close us out with. And again, as I always say, until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate to one another. Our world needs it more than ever. And most importantly, wherever you're at in your journey, whether you're just starting your awakening, you're halfway through your awakening, or you've been fully immersed in your awakening like myself, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and discover that diamond within, but also the many diamonds and gems that are all around us if we go prospecting for them. I'll see you next time here on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Namaste.
I don't wanna know
billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the intuitive prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream. Dare to explore. Dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.